Due to the nature of the show we're reviewing, this episode features strong sexual themes, and listener discretion is advised. Also, this is our longest episode so far, so I'm splitting it into 2 parts. Enjoy!
Welcome to the Rainbow Room,
our podcast about writing, representation,
and gay stuff.
Hello everyone! I'm Andrew Steyer.
I'm Eric Martinez.
And today we have a special guest. It's an exciting day because we have a first time ever having a guest. Please welcome Eric Allen.
Woo! Are the dolls ready? Are the dolls ready?
Hello, it's going to be a fun show today.
Pleasure to be here. Oh yeah, I'm glad to be here with one of my best friends and of course my fellow name twin.
Hi, name twin. So happy to have you here. Eric with a C, Eric with a K, the meeting of the minds.
There you go. See, if there's anything, this is unlike Russia and Ukraine. We can get along, okay?
Oh my
we can
God.
That's
Girl.
Staying topical. Yeah, Eric Allen and I have been best friends since like freshman year. We've known each other, 12 years? It's incredible.
Oh God, oh Lord, have mercy.
I mean, we're so young. It could only be 4 years.
Exactly. There you go. You know, we're still young spring chickens. Freshly 30 spring chickens.
Yeah, we both turned 30 this year. Yeah, and so this is going to be a confusing podcast because they're both named Eric. So whenever I say their name, they both turn. And
We all know I'm the OG Eric. We all know that. Sorry, Eric Allen.
Girl, you're like 8. Shut up.
I'm the OG of the podcast.
There you go.
I'm
let's go with
sprightly
that,
and
then.
young. I'm so sweet and young and hot and thin.
Ooh, honey. I'm actually hot and thin, just like every other Eric. Okay, now. Let's get to hot.
Eric is opening a beer. Nice. Let's go.
Oh, you
Let's
already
get this
know.
party
We
started.
about to spill some tea, so I got to get ready. I got to make sure. I got to keep myself cool down because the dolls are going to be doing the most.
We truly are about to spill some tea because today we are talking about looking, which is really good. Very
And not the
interesting.
looking on Grindr, okay? Not the 2 little googly eyes.
Oh my God.
No.
Not the
It's a
emoji.
show.
That means you're up to no
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
On HBO. Okay, but before we get into that, Eric Allen, on this podcast, we've started this nice, fun little segment we do where we have a question. What's the gayest thing you've done this week?
Oh, well, doll. I mean, that's pretty obvious, actually. Literally, on Saturday, we went to Dua Lipa in Houston.
Oh yeah.
Damn. The girls were all... I was in Houston, and literally, it was half Austin there. Everybody. All the
I saw
dolls,
that.
all the queens, everybody was there. So it was a night. We got to Houston early on Friday. Of course, we dibble-dabble, went out and about. And then some of our friends went to the bathhouse.
Oh my God.
I was a good Christian, so I stayed in. Well, I didn't stay in, but I went to this place called Poppy's, and I found me a poppy.
Hey, let's go.
And then Dua was on Saturday. Nice and glammed up. I did some glitter. Did like a very kind of Euphoria meets a Dua Lipa meets kind of like 80s crop top, ready to get physical. Yeah, it was that kind of moment, but it was amazing. Although Houston was cold as heck. Like
Really?
It was insane. But I mean, look, that will never stop the dolls. We will always be ready to dress up and dress in nothing basically. But yeah,
Oh my God.
that was definitely
Wow.
low key like the gayest thing I've done, and I'm still kind of recovering from it. If you can't notice,
You're like not the gayest thing you've done this week, the gayest thing you've done ever.
right? Oh well, Andrew, look, let's not even go into that. The gayest
Oh
thing
my
you've
God.
done ever. We can't go there. That would be the behind the scenes for fans only.
Oh my God.
Patreon.
Yeah, we have a Patreon. We'll tell that
There you
story.
There you go.
That
Speaking of
wouldn't be Patreon. That would be Pornhub. We'd be just talking about things.
oh my God.
Girl, come on.
It's the rebranding of Pornhub. There you go. Right.
It's like instead of literotica, it's like audiotica. I don't know what you call it.
ASMR, ASMRS. It's like ASMR sexual.
Oh my God. Yeah, guys, we're in for a very different episode today. The dolls are feeling it. Oh my God, Eric
Oh,
shaking his
you wear the twist, eh?
titties.
Come on, episode 4. Let's get sickening.
Truly. Speaking of terrible weather, I just moved to Seattle, so it's been like raining. I finally left LA. So the other fun thing is like between I'm in Seattle, Eric Martinez is in New York, Eric Allen is in Texas. We basically are creating a triangle. We are tri-coastal.
Okay, I
Yeah.
live for that. Yes, ma'am.
If you connect our points, we are covering the entire United States. So
Absolutely.
I mean,
No one's ever
we are
done this
queens of the
before.
world. Revolutionary, never done,
Yeah.
exemplary, fantastic, marvelous, everything Gaga
Brilliant.
would say on
Incredible.
Speaking of-
never been done before.
Okay, speaking of never been done before, I think the gayest thing I've done this week was like after we talked about Las Culturistas last episode, I've like started listening to them. I had never listened to that podcast before with Matthew Rogers and Bowen Yang, and first of all, it's very fun, and also, oh my God, there's so many parallels between us and them. It's wild. They're like bi-coastal gay men who met doing improv, who started a podcast together, and they have gay
Aww.
guests. And like, it's so funny that I didn't know about them, and now I feel like we're following in their footsteps.
They were the trailblazers, and we're simply following. But we're following it. We're following in a new path. We're not necessarily doing what they're doing.
Oh yeah, no, we're definitely a very different vibe, especially because like they're so steeped in the industry. I feel like listening to them, it's really cool because they know so much. I feel like we're kind of discovering a lot together, which is really cool. But yeah,
So it's kind of like, Andrew, it's kind of like our freshman year whenever there was the panel.
oh
And
my
then
God, yes.
And then whenever we came in, it was like, all right, the panel's done. Get ready for the plastics.
We need to talk about the panel. And Eric Martinez, I'm curious if there's anything like this when you came to UT. So when I was freshman gay, I came out and like met all the other gays. And it's so silly when you think of it now because they were literally a year older than us or something like that. But like we were freshmen and then there was this group of sophomores that like were just like they called themselves the panel. And people talked about them. Yeah, they called themselves the panel, and they were a group of gay. I've completely forgot about this. They were a group of gay men who were just like, I don't know, acted hot and stuck together, and like kind of had like a Mean Girls vibe to them. But like, I guess it worked because people like literally would refer to them by that name. Yeah,
like, exactly.
Wait, so this wasn't like a student government thing. This was just like a popular group of gay men.
Yes,
yes, ma'am. Exactly.
Girl, you said the panel, and I was like, "Oh, it's like a student org. They tried to join, they didn't get in." Like, I really thought that's what this was.
No, yeah, it was, and then when we came in, I was like, "Oh, wait, hold on, Miss Thing. If y'all think y'all gonna be the panel, Miss Thing, we gonna be the plastics." Bada boom, bada bang.
And he literally did. Eric put together a little group of gays, the freshman gays, and they started calling themselves the plastic. And like, I don't. Eric was in the habit. Eric had deemed himself Regina George, and was in the habit of like.
Car.
Oh yeah, your car. And like he'd be on the dance floor and he'd just say Regina George and then like do a death drop.
Oh my God.
Look, I mean, the dolls would always beg me to go out, like they needed their queen to come out all the time. Like I remember one time I was studying, trying to be a good boy, and I'm in the PCL, and they literally, like a group of them, come to like the bottom floor where the computers are, and they're like, "But we need Regina," and I was like, "Okay, never mind, I gotta go." Bye. I still got an A, so it didn't matter.
The PCL was UT's library. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Woo. Fun times.
Just talking about Culturistas, I want to talk about something. As I promised last episode, 20% of this podcast is just going to be me bragging about famous people I've met.
Okay.
But like right after we did the Q-Force episode where we talked about Matthew Rogers, that was kind of how I discovered Matt Rogers. In like doing that and discovered Las Culturistas. So we just talked about it, and Joel Kim Booster had a like taping of his comedy special in LA that you could apply to go to for free. And so I applied and I went and I got to see his comedy special live for free, which is really awesome. And then afterwards he hosted an after party. and like at the bar. So like it was like $5. Anyone could go up, and so I went, and like there was not that many people that did go. So it was like basically me and all of Joel Kim Booster's friends. And then
that's
I was
how we
like,
get into the scene.
I was his friends were cool. I would like hit on a cute guy and then later learn that he was Joel's friend. I was like, okay, work. But I was at the top. Oh my god, that's the plan, baby. Call me boys. No.
Baby doll.
I'm at the bar ordering a drink, and I look to my right, and like this guy looks familiar, and I'm kind of like glaring at him, but like just because I'm like trying to ascertain, I'm like, who are you? Have we hooked up? Like, are you someone I met?
Ooh.
I think I even texted Eric Martinez. I was like, so this guy either is someone I've met before, or he's literally Matthew Rogers. And it was Matt Rogers. I was like, hi, are you Matt Rogers? He's like, yeah, I am. So I was like, oh my god, I love your work. I just did a podcast episode about you.
Love.
There goes our next really star. Or there goes our next guest.
Oh yeah. I'll text him. Hey boo.
Okay.
Oh my god, I would love that. That man is so fine. Please, let's have him on.
Oh my god. I hope he hears this. I'm going to post this as a snippet, and I'm going to tag him.
As you should. Let him know.
No, I am all for publicly simping for celebrities. That was basically the entire thing I did in LA. That was just my experience.
I see it. I want it. I work hard. I play hard. I want it.
Eric, are you Googling him right now?
Oh, she can get it.
Girl.
Wait a damn minute.
Girl.
Well, I like put us on a brief intermission while we stalk photos of this.
Leave all of this in.
Hold, please.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
I ain't mad about that. You better work on that, Andrew. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's been really surreal because it feels like, those movies where an author or someone like writes something and then like it comes to life in real life. That's what it felt like with Matt Rogers. Like, researched him, discussed him, and then I met him. I was like, what the hell?
Okay, so here goes the next thing we need to... my future husband. So I'll meet him within a week. Okay.
Yeah. But while we're manifesting, go hard. Like, you can make him at whoever you want. Who's your celebrity crush?
Oh, it is South by, actually. Ooh, okay. Who can I meet during South by? I mean, I would want like a DJ or something like that, or like someone down to earth though too. That's like not going to be like too much, but kind of. Actually, though, Adam Driver, I would die.
Oh, Adam Driver, what a choice!
Yes, that schnoz.
I thought you were like
that schnoz. I thought you were just everything.
I really thought you were just generally talking. You were like, I really want to meet someone who's down to earth, and I was like, no, we're talking about your celebrity crush. Like, who is the celebrity you want to meet? Not just your future partner that you want.
Right. No, I was going there, and then I was like, wait, hold on. I need to take advantage of this.
Like,
I need to benefit this during South by. Adam Driver. Ooh, he's definitely grown on me a lot. Ooh, Mauricio.
I can't say I agree. I'm so sorry. I cannot say I agree.
So who would you want to meet?
I recognize, like, he's just not for me, but I recognize, like, he's other people's cup of tea. Like, I can see it there. I'm like, I see what people see in him.
Who is for you? And you better think it too.
Recently, I've really been torn because I, through and through, a Harry Styles girl, through and through.
Oh my god. Okay. No, he's not kidding. He has so many freaking TikToks about him and Harry Styles, like, that are basically just like
mysterious.
Content creator.
Oh my god.
But recently, I've been very much a Joe Jonas girl. I think Joe Jonas is my man. I love him funny.
Innocent. Eric, you're like a 12-year-old girl. Oh my god.
What does that mean? Who am I supposed to go for?
I don't know. You're just fanning over all the guys that like 12-year-old girls go for. That's
no
tea, no shade.
The girls are my age. We are all like in our mid-20s.
Look, we're thinking about the ones that can like choke you or something like that. You know, like what's Harry gonna be doing? I'd be like, boy, sit down.
Just because Adam Driver was Darth Vader, you're like, oh, Force choke me, daddy.
Force choke me, Adam Driver. Shut up, girl.
That sounds like a dream.
Oh my goodness.
All right, now Andrew, now it's your turn. Come on.
Okay.
Now.
I have. Okay, so I have a really weird celebrity crush, but it's Rami Malek.
That's not
Okay.
weird.
Yes.
I'm
No.
just-
He's
He's just like I've been watching him since he was in Short Term 12, which actually premiered at South by, I think. And he's
shit,
just
okay.
that's the first time I ever saw him, and he's so attractive in that. And I was like, oh my goodness.
I feel like he dabbles in the same territory that Adam Driver does in being like ugly hot. I'll say it.
Right? Yeah.
I'll say it because like he's
And I'll say it
he's
again.
got that look about him, like
Yeah, I mean, he gets cast as villains for a reason. He has like an unusual look.
kind of fucked up face. I'll say it.
Oh, shit.
That's his whole
How
thing.
dare you? No, he's so cute. Oh my god, he has a perfect face. This perfect Egyptian daddy. Oh my god.
Okay.
All right, Martinez, you're up. What was the gayest thing you've done this week?
For me, was it the Q Force episode where I was like, I saw? Okay, I think the Q Force episode, I saw a Broadway show.
Yeah.
And another gay thing that I did this week, I saw another Broadway show. I'll say
She's
it.
one of those dolls now.
Yeah, I'm that girl. I'm not a Broadway girl. I'm really not. I'm aligned with the right people who are like, hey, I have a free ticket. Come with me to this show.
Okay.
And today, I'm a true gay. I'm aligned with the right people.
Yeah, that's being aligned with the right people is the gayest thing you did this week.
Gayest thing I did. Literally. We go to this show today, and it was like second preview. It's a show called Paradise Square, but it's like about to start being like a Broadway show. It just is just in the opening steps right now. So keep an ear out. People may be talking about it, but I'll say it, kind of a snooze. I was kind of bored. Yeah. It was just like it was very it was like pre-war New York. It was about these people being in love and like this bar trying to survive, this bar trying to like survive this like closure or whatever. It was just very I feel like I've seen this before. Like I don't think this is generally telling a new story in any sort of way.
Which war? 1, 2, or Vietnam? You know,
I genuinely think it was. It was World War II. It was World War II.
Okay.
Or Vietnam. It was one of those two. They didn't specify. It was just like men of the town. There's a draft. Like they didn't really say what the war was.
Oh,
anyways,
weird.
I feel the further I go, I'm problematic. Let's move on.
No, I don't know. It sounds just like another just straight tale. We need more. I want more gay stuff.
Exactly.
I was thinking about this.
half of them are queens that are performing up there anyway. So what's the tea?
They're gay. Oh, there were so many little gay men in that production. I was like, I was clocking all of them. I was like, gay. Simply by the way they move. Sister, twin.
I mean, I was really thinking about it. There's I want a good musical song. I love show tunes, but I don't know of any that are about being gay or a gay love romance. And Kinky Boots has one, but I don't think it resonated with me. And I just don't know of any others. I really want a good just gay musical song I can sink my teeth into.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I think when it comes to those, at least what's kind of out there for us, it's usually women-led songs that we're able to kind of put ourselves within that situation. But it's it's which we can relate to, but it's definitely not the same as if it's one of the dolls.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Should we talk about the show?
Let's talk about the show. We were having a good time.
No. I that's why I kept it going. I love it. Okay, so Eric Martinez, have you seen this show?
I have it was a while ago, but I've seen.
Oh, dope. Okay, you've seen the whole thing?
Yeah, and the movie.
Oh shit! Okay.
We got a true
So
fan
both
here.
seasons in the movie. Nice.
Yeah.
And Eric Allen, you've seen it too.
Yes, I've seen it a couple of times. Yeah,
A couple of times. Whoa.
I do. I mean, it's kind of it's the closest we can get to a Sex in the City. Sex in the City for us, in a way.
Yeah.
So even though it's in SF, but I'll let that slide.
I mean, SF is great. I love SF. What do y'all remember about? Okay, what do y'all remember about how you liked it, and also what do you remember about its reception when it came out?
For me, I remember when I watched it, just because it was so juicy, I was living the entire time, super dramatic, just seeing what's going down. It was very kind of, I think like funny, but then also like it can be relatable. But then I guess realizing it, or not even realizing the reception that I've heard, it's like the number one thing is like, oh, this isn't San Francisco. Why is everybody white? Or blah 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 blah. You know, like I mean, it was not blah 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 blah, but you know, it was very like the diversity of it was very lacking.
Yeah.
Although, which I was like, yeah, I get, but then it's like that's why I always kind of felt conflicted because I guess I really didn't like clock that instantly, but you know, kind of like re-looking, I was like, oh snap! But I mean, I felt like the types of people versus like just their like racial, you know, identity at least added to a different, you know, a diversity and types of personalities within it. But I guess that's the beauty of like Sex and the City too. It's like, you know, it's all just, you know, four white women and at least they're the Latino in looking. So, you know, like, hey, we got some diversity in there.
Yeah.
You know, but so I think it was more or less like the diversity of like, I guess the greater San Francisco area that they represented. But I've never been to a stuff like that. So I couldn't really, I just thought that's how it is. But then people were like, that's not how it is there. So I was like, oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, I have lived in SF a bit, so I'll be looking at that again while we watch the show. Eric, how about you?
I don't know if I really heard of any reception. I stumbled upon the show, and I swear to God, like the only other person who I've met who has like watched the show in its entirety is my best friend Claire, and like we really bonded over that when we first met. We were like, "Oh,
Claire.
You've seen Looking." Love Claire. She's loyal to this pod. But like I hadn't really heard about it, hadn't heard any reception, but I feel like from what I like did a little research on that, like generally, yes, it was like it had to do with like the same thing that you were saying, Eric, about it just being not true to San Francisco and also incredibly white. Which like granted, like through watching it, I'm like, yeah, that's true.
I want to talk about what you're saying there about like not really knowing anyone who had watched it, because that's been my experience with this too. It feels like the show has kind of just been invisible, which is a shame because it's critically acclaimed and like the people who watch it like it in general. And I wonder if this has to do with the fact that just it's a gay show. So I think too many people were like, oh, this isn't for me. You know, you either have straight people who are like, oh, I'm not going to watch something gay, or you have gay people who are like closeted and like, I'm not going to watch something gay, right? Because this came out, this is 2014, 2015. So, yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound that long ago, but it's just, I think a testament to like how much has changed in the last 7 and 8 years.
Yes, ma'am. Like, I mean, and now you made me think about that too, because at that time, RuPaul was still on Logo, you know, so it wasn't in like the mainstream. I feel like maybe that's a good way to even gauge what is like the mainstream acceptance to like stuff, like, because, you know, yeah, RuPaul's on Logo, so it hadn't even gone to HBO, or not HBO, it hasn't gone to VH1 or to like the main thing ones where you're seeing commercials of all that kind of stuff. So it's still like, even though it doesn't seem that long, there has been like compared to now such a big change and like the types of shows and you know, what's kind of like generally mainstream right now. And even though that wasn't that long ago, it really wasn't the whole quote unquote gay stuff was not, it was still kind of like you had to like search and find and maybe look to see what's going on before that. Because I think the only other gay show I know besides this and like RuPaul was the one on Showtime, Queer as Folk. There.
Yay!
Yes.
Oh, we gotta do that show.
Yeah, that will be on the pod eventually. Oh,
yeah.
If that's appropriate for the pod, that's gonna be another explicit episode.
That's even worse than this one, in my opinion.
Eric will be back on. You'll be back on, Eric.
Right? We'll be extra dolls for that one.
Oh my god.
We have the panel. We have the panel.
Oh my god.
Right. But yeah, see, that one like first aired in 2000, and then what? Yeah, you're saying 2014. I mean, I think what the L Word, yeah, it was one I've heard of before. But like, you know, it's like literally you can count on like hands on like how many actually like really queer centric shows there have been. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Andrew, on that, Pat.
So this show like was doing well, and then they got renewed for a second season, and then viewership just dropped off a lot. And even though the show was still getting really good ratings, the network canceled the show. And then enough people were disappointed that they actually signed a petition to be like, hey, finish this back because season 2 ended and it wasn't wrapped up. And so because of the petition, in part, I'm sure, they made that movie, which kind of wrapped up the plot line. So that's how that happened. So this is just a really interesting example of a show that was supposedly really good, but wasn't getting the viewership and suffered the consequences. You know, it's kind of the same thing you hear for like Arrested Development. So,
but I wonder, all right, do y'all think it was good? I guess the beauty of it is that it actually did just kind of wrap up and not drag on, because that's the other curse to, like, you know, series. It's like, okay, it's like the same kind of problem, blah, blah, blah. I mean, unless they got really creative, but yeah, I mean, I'm really glad with that, but also I really did like how they were able to put a bow on it. But yeah.
It died a hero.
There you go.
I like when something is short. Like whenever you like start a television show and it's got like 10 seasons, it's really intimidating. But so like when I started looking and it was just like, and I even like started it and then I kept seeing like this movie. I'm like, what is this movie? And so when I finished season 2, I was like, oh, like that's kind of weird. And then I started looking around and I discovered the movie and I was like, oh, I feel like honestly, like that feels like such a good way to like really, like, that's kind of what Game of Thrones did, where they did like their long ass episodes, but then like their finales were like generally like 45 minutes longer. Like I love when a television series has like a very long series finale. I think that's just so interesting and make it like going out with a bang.
Although you don't want to trigger me with Game of Thrones, girl. Don't get me started.
Girl, don't get me started. Don't get me started.
We're not here to discuss Game of Thrones.
Right.
But here.
I'm like, there is one gay relationship for 5 minutes in that show. Let's do it for
the
pod.
We are so desperate for representation. We just cling to that.
Literally.
Those two guys looked at each other in the first scene. Let's do it on the pod.
Literally. They look at each other if someone dies. I'm like, I need that.
All right. Well, shall we launch into watching this show?
Oh my god, I'm so excited!
I've been telling myself like, no, Eric, don't watch it again. Don't watch it again. Let's like watch it with the dolls. Let's like rewatch it with the dolls and see how it's gonna go down. So I'm super excited to see how.
I'm so excited.
What I re-noticed. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for waiting for us. Let's go.
Okay.
Woo! At this point we watch Looking. Patrick, an openly gay adult man, is trying cruising for the first time, which is where you meet and hook up with strangers. He gets cold feet when his friends call him, and we meet Augustine the artist and Dom the aging restaurant worker. The next day, Dom discusses reaching out to his ex, and his friend Doris discourages it, and Patrick goes on an OkCupid date with a doctor that ends terribly after the date discovers he tried cruising. On the subway home, Patrick is approached by a cute stranger named Richie, who invites him to a nightclub. Meanwhile, Augustine and his boyfriend have an unplanned threesome with Augustine's new coworker, and Dom makes unsuccessful advances on a young coworker. The night ends with Patrick and Dom going to Patrick's ex-boyfriend's bachelor party, after which Patrick decides to go to Richie's nightclub. Dom reaches out to his ex, and Augustine's boyfriend expresses concern about what type of couple they are now. And that concludes part 1. Go to the next episode for part 2. If you enjoyed the podcast, the best thing you can do to support us right now is help boost our signal. We are at Rainbow Room Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, rate, tell a friend about us. Thank you.